Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicola and today we are gonna do a sequence to support our fertility and especially the egg quality. So in this class we will be focusing on releasing the pelvic area, bringing some motion into the hips, releasing the hips as well, because we tend to hold a lot of tension in this lower body area. But we will also focus on bringing the blood flow down to bring fresh blood to the ovaries to support the eggs and their health. And we will also work on lowering the stress levels, because obviously that's what we are facing on the fertility journey, if we want or not. Just the stress is in any variation always present. So we will work on that as well. You won't be needing any props for this practice, and we will start standing up on our mats. Just stand in any position that is comfortable. Feet, legs are slightly apart, and we will start with some hip circles. So just choose the side that is more natural to you and start slowly feeling into the hips. Maybe with time the circles will be bigger and bigger. And really feel into it. Maybe you can close your eyes if you are comfortable with that. You can also bend the knees if it gives you a wider range of motion. Let's switch side. And just notice which side feels more natural. Just observe your body to be more in tune with it. A few more like this. And slowly come back to center. You can bring your feet together to touch. So we have a really narrow stand now, and we will stretch into the side of the body. So rise your left arm up, really emphasize the stretch, and then when you are really stretched out towards the ceiling, then start bending towards the right. So by doing stretches into the side body, we are supporting the liver meridian, and liver helps us a lot with supporting our hormonal balance, detoxifying our body. So we really want to support our liver health. Maybe bend a bit more. And come back to center, and we will do the same on the other side. Right arm up, stretch, and then bend to the left. Come back to center. Release the hands. Widen your stand. The feet are still parallel to the shoulder edges of the mat. And we will come into a forward fold. So on the inhale, lengthen through your spine, maybe look up. And on the exhale, fold all the way down. Choose the arm variation that fits you. Maybe you can place your hands in the middle of the mat. You can hold your toes with the two-piece fingers. Whatever is accessible here. Don't worry about it too much. Find your balance so the weight is on both feet, evenly distributed. And just hanging there and relax. Take a few really deep breaths in and out through the nose. It's your moment to pause here. To release any worries. Now bring your hands onto the hips. Come all the way up. And now bring the heels in, toes stay out. So we still have a wide stand and lower down. So we are pushing the knees open to the sides. And you can keep your hands on the knees, but make sure you are not just putting all your weight onto the knees. You just try to find a little bit more support, or you can also bring the hands up into the cactus shape. So we won't be staying here, we will be alternating this goddess pose with straightened legs. So stay here for a breath and then come all the way up, straighten the legs, maybe the arms as well, and then come back to goddess. Few more like this. Inhale, come all the way up, and exhale, lower down. Come up and down. Up and down. Keep squeezing the knees open. 2 more like this. And down. Last one. And down. Release the arms if you had them up. Bring the arms down to the ground. And we will do Skandasana. So you want to lean onto your left leg. And maybe you can stay up here, just on your fingertips, on the toes. Or you can maybe place your left foot all the way to the ground, whatever you can. And the right leg is straightened to the side. And we will be again doing it in a slow motion. So we will be switching sides, so slowly move to the right. Bend the right knee and the left leg gets straightened. Switch sides. Stretching into the groin area, the hips. Bringing the blood flow down to the uterus, to the reproductive organs. Last one to the right. Now you can come back to center, slowly come all the way up and come to the front of the mat for Tadasana, the mountain pose. So we will stay here for a few breaths. You can close your eyes if you want to, just to find our balance and to feel more grounded. Also to lower our heart rate a bit. Focus how it feels in your feet, how you feel being supported by the earth. Imagine that your whole body is being supported by the earth. It won't let you fall. Slowly open your eyes. Now we will be stretching. Maybe I will just face towards you. It will be easier to see. And we will be stretching up to the sky and then coming down to a yogi squat malasana. So you want to have your feet a little bit wider than in Tadasana and the heels a little bit in, the toes out again. And on the inhale, we will raise our arms up, look towards the ceiling, a little back bend. And on the exhale, calm down. If it's maybe too much, you can again just stay on your toes. You don't have to bring your feet to the ground. Or you can just stay a little bit higher with your hips if they cannot go all the way down. Just modify the way that is accessible to you. Keep pressing the knees open. And from Malasana, we will come all the way up. Rise the arms up. Inhale and exhale. Down again. Deep breath in Malasana. Deep exhale, and on the inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, come down. Last one, inhale. And exhale down. And now from Malasana, you can bring your feet to the back side of the mat, and we will come into our downward facing dog. So the feet are about hip width distance apart, the hands shoulder width distance apart. You can keep the knees bent, definitely. Just make sure you are stretching into your spine, pushing the hands to the ground. Stretch it out. And now raise your right leg up and bring it in between the hands towards the front of the mat. Spin the back foot to be parallel to the shoulder edge of the mat and come into warrior two. The hands are engaged, the arms are engaged, you are looking towards the right middle finger. Find your breath again. Now straighten the front leg, bring the back leg a little bit closer, and we will come into triangle pose. So reach with your right arm to the front and then maybe place it on your shin or on the ground. Maybe a block come handy in here, and then maybe you can look up, but if it's too much for your neck, you can also be looking in front of you. You should feel a nice stretch in the side body. So again, targeting the liver meridian. Bring a left hand down. We will come into plank. Bring your knees down. Come onto your belly. Cobra. And we will meet again in downward facing dog. Let's repeat this small sequence on the other side. So left leg up. Bring it forward for warrior two. Find your stability. Keep pressing the front knee open. Make sure you're not digging your front toes into the mat, so the weight should be evenly distributed on both feet. Let's straighten the front leg. Bring the back foot a bit closer. Reach with your left arm, and the right arm goes up. Release the hand down to the mat, bring the left foot back, and on your knees, lower all the way down again. Come into cobra. Downward facing dog. Right leg goes up. And now bring the right knee behind the right wrist for pigeon. So the right foot is more or less behind the left hand, but don't worry if your shin is not parallel to the shoulder edge of the mat. It's really not so important here. What is important though is to keep the hips squared, so make sure that they are in the center, and then once you find your position, maybe you can stay here if it's already enough of a stretch, or lower on your forearms or all the way down. I'm just gonna support my head with my forearms. It feels the best at the moment to me. And try to relax in here as much as you can. We will take 10 deep breaths in here to release the hip. So focus on your breath and the sensation in your right hip. Relax your neck, your shoulders. And imagine any emotions stored in the hips are just getting released. Slowly, with the support of your arms, come all the way back up and back to our downward facing dog. Just for a transition to come to do the pigeon on the other side. So the left leg goes up and then the left knee behind the left wrist, straightening the right leg. Again, first take the time to really find the sweet spot where you can feel the hip, but it's not too much. Maybe even a blanket or a block can go under the left hip, so you will be a little bit elevated and it will be maybe more accessible. Just try it out. And once you are ready, maybe stay up or lower down. And we are staying again for 10 breaths. I will try not to talk too much, so you can really focus on your experience. Let's come back up into our last downward facing dog. So last opportunity to stretch everything out. And now bring the knees back to the mat. And you can Switch and come to sit down and lower all the way down. Bring the soles of the feet together to touch, and the knees are falling apart towards the floor for reclined butterfly. You can place your hands onto the belly to connect with this area, to connect with your womb. Maybe close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, feeling the belly expanding on the inhale. And really lowering on the exhale. All the old breath is going out, bringing new oxygen into the body to rejuvenate the organs. Relax your head, your neck, your shoulders, your belly, pelvic area, your knees. Now bring the knees together. You can maybe use your hands to bring them up. The feet are one next to each other, the knees are together, and we will come into bridge pose. So maybe if you wanted to reach your heels with your hands, it would be available. So they are really close to the hips, the feet. And then on the inhale, come with the hips up towards the ceiling, squeezing the inner thighs, knees together. And again, continue with the deep breath through the nose. Keep pushing into the feet to lift your hips even higher. And on the exhale, slowly come all the way down. Bring your knees towards the chest, give it a big squeeze to release the belly, to massage the internal organs. And you can straighten the legs and move the hips a bit towards the right, and then the feet will go towards the left, and the upper body will also come a bit towards the left. So you are creating a kind of banana shape with your body. And you can stay here, or maybe you can cross your right leg over your left one. Just make sure that your hips are still facing up, so they are not rolling onto the side. And if you want to add on, you can also raise the arms up and hold onto the opposite elbows. So everybody feels this one a little bit differently. You might be feeling it all the way already from the arms, through the side body, up until the leg and the IT band. Or maybe you just feel it as a side body stretch. That's completely fine. You can also adjust the intensity by going with the hips more to the right or with the legs more to the left. And imagine you can breathe directly into the side body. Five deep breaths on this side. Release. And we will just switch sides, so the hips go to the left, the legs and the arms go to the right. So you should feel some sensation. Definitely it shouldn't be painful or unbearable. It would just mean that you've gone too far. So find the perfect stretch for you and focus on your breath. 5 breaths again. Okay, you can release, and we will come into our last pose, which will be Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. So maybe you want to bring your mat to the wall. Bring your hips as close to the wall as possible, and then come with your legs all the way up. Keep your hands on your belly and close your eyes. So another great pose to bring the blood flow down to the uterus, to support the reproductive organs. But at the same time, it's also a really calming pose that has a positive effect on our nervous system. So take this opportunity for final moments of relaxation. Thank yourself for dedicating this time to support your body and your well-being. And be proud of yourself. Bring the legs down, roll onto one side, and when you're ready, you can come back to the seated position. Close your eyes again. Relax the shoulders. Take one last moment here in silence. Bring the hands into the front of your heart. And we will finish with a big breath out of the mouth to release anything that we still might be holding on to. So take a deep breath in. Namaste. Thank you so much for doing this practice with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are proud of yourself for taking the time to be on the mat and to support your fertility. Please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you practicing with me again soon. Bye!